Hi. So, welcome back, right, to Precalculus. We are going to talk about exam 2. We are going to go through the list of topics and, set some important definitions and concepts, right? Put all of that stuff together. And then I have the office hours listed, as you can see, for Tuesday, which is tomorrow. Then we have the Wednesday and Friday. And you should have email from Microsoft Teams. If you don't have it, I will... I'm just going to resend the whole thing. So look for the email that asks you to join the Microsoft team, which is a software. And you will be able to connect to my cyber room or whatever it is, where we can talk, right? So everyone goes together in the same room. I'm not sure if there is a limit. I had up to 11 people so far in one of those and had no issues. So, exam 2 is on chapter 2. Those are sections 2.1 through 2.6. So only 6 sections. The exam should be on Canvas. And I am going to ask you to put the the Canvas, and I'm going to ask you to submit your scrap work for partial credit in case that something is there. So you don't have to, but obviously if you submit partial credit, then great, I can award partial credit. If you don't submit the work, then the face value of the exam is the value, right? That's it. So it's going to be on Canvas, and I'm thinking Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So we can have 3 days. It's like noon to noon or something. So that is Friday 17th. So Friday 4/17 noon to Sunday 4/19 noon. So it goes through the night twice, right? And that should capture the whole crowd in terms of all of the for you to take the test. Now this one will not have issues in terms of you can't open it, you can't, right? Because I did have a lot of these issues before. So you will be able 100% to take this test without any issues. You submit when, by the time. So the time, again, I know that you guys were requesting, extra time. So 91 minutes. And that you'll be, if there are accommodations or anything, that will be adjusted. All right, cool. So now let's work on the list of topics and ideas, and from there we'll go on. We'll do problems on Wednesday. Now, obviously, if you join in tomorrow during office hours, we can also do problems, so on. So, topics. So, number 1, complex numbers. Add, subtract, multiply, divide, square, and graph. When I say graph, you just literally have a dot, right? Because that's the real axis and that's the imaginary axis, right? So that's it. Complex numbers. Just add, subtract, multiply, divide, and square. Okay, I just have to make a really quick break here to answer the chat. So the first question that I see, how many questions are going to be on the exam? The answer is, I don't know. Oh my, come on. There we go. So I don't know yet. The next question was, will there be notifications through Outlook for the Microsoft Teams? The email should automatically generate, because I'm using your RVCC email from the list to add you into the team. So I created a team that's Precalculus team, and I am adding all of you to the Precalculus team, and then you will be able to log in, and I'm going to start the meeting, and then whenever you join, you join. All right, so let's talk about next one is quadratic function. And for that one, need to know it all. Y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. Y equals ax minus h squared plus k. Vertex opens up, down, symmetry, line of symmetry. So all of that good stuff that we did over there, roots, y-intercept, right, which is y-intercept is also important. Now both of those are algebra questions, but still. All right, number 3. We are going to go with so this is from 2.3. So technically these are like 2.1, 2.2, right, and so on. So we're going to do the polynomials. Now, see, look, when I say definition, right, when I say on a test sometimes define the polynomial, whole bunch of you don't know that you're supposed to write just a formula for polynomial and walk away. There's nothing special there. Right? That's the formula for polynomial. Can be any order, right? That's a definition. Then we have the rest of the stuff that we did for polynomials. That's a leading term test, graphs, multiplicity of roots, I think that's it. I'm just going to quickly peek, make sure that I got everything. We're not going to deal with intermediate value theorem. So I think we got it all. Yeah, that's it. Next one is long division. Very good. Long plus synthetic division. So that's number 4, because that's in 2.4. And that one we're going to do the, you just have to be careful with the placeholders and all that stuff. And number 5 is the one that, now 5 and 6 are the ones that make a lot of noise. Number 5 is the prs, right? The possible rational zeros. So this is where you do the long list and you keep checking, and you so this is one where you do factoring. I just put long list prs. You know what that means. If you watch the lecture, you know what it means if you were there, right? And we have Descartes' rule of signs. And what else? Descartes' rule of signs. So we are possibly going to have 3 problems in number 5. One that it's cheap, you don't have to think about it. One that you have to think about, and one with Descartes' rule of signs. So, and also, the one that you multiply it back to get the polynomial. So you have roots, make the polynomial. I did, I believe, 2 examples of that. I'm going to jump back in 2.3 to tell you, no, 2.3, 2.5, to tell you exactly what this is. So if I go and, so I just need to find where the example is. There it is. So given roots, find the polynomial. And these 2 roots were given, but because one was complex, then I wrote in red, right, that you always have to have complex pairs. So we actually have 3 roots, so it will be a triple. So I listed roots, I listed factors, then I multiplied everything, and then eventually we got the answer. So one question like that, right, in this batch. And finally, number 6, rational functions. That one has domain range. It has intercepts. It has asymptotes. Holy nightmare, that's a big one. Vertical, horizontal, slant, asymptotes. So domain range, intercepts, vertical, horizontal, slant, asymptotes, graphs. I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. So That's it. There are, I'm just checking. All right. And I know I mentioned that we might, toss in one of the word problems from 1.10. We'll see. I'll put that here as a 7. Because, the exam without a word problem is just a dull exam. That's the only thing. Word problems are the only thing that make money. The rest is all whatever. So, toss in maybe one problem from 110 just so you are in touch with reality and you are right, because the rest is not as nearly as important. Now, obviously, Chapter 3 will have the most important word problems in the galaxy, but that's Chapter 3, that's Exam 3. Now, before I end this for today, I have a couple of questions to answer and just to make a few announcements, but I will be posting all of this stuff anyway. So the questions will look like the MyMATLAB questions. Yes, very similar. I'm using the same software from the same company and then importing stuff in Canvas so you don't have to deal with MyMATLAB. But you don't have to deal with the annoyance of, marked wrong for... marked wrong for stuff when you type something wrong. On the way, homework problem was like that was the only problem that I showed from 2.5 on the screen right now. If you go back in this video, that problem was really the only one that I went back to show on the screen. So that problem was done in class in 2.5. I'm not sure if it was exactly the one that is on the screen, but something definitely the same. So that's for the problems. Now, your exam on Chapter 3 counts more towards your course grade. And the concepts from Chapter 3 are minimum 10,000 times more important than Chapter 2. I am hoping that you are working on Chapter 3 every day, and then sometimes are looking at Chapter 2. That's the order of importance if you have to take more math courses. Chapter 2 stuff is going to come up, 5 to 10 times, right? Stuff from Chapter 3 will be with you every single day of calculus. So don't do one of those childish things. I don't want to look at Chapter 3 because it's going to confuse my Chapter 2. No. Chapter 3 is taking... out of the entire Precalc1 and Precalc2, Chapter 3 is the most important thing, followed by Chapter 1, sections 1, 6, 1, 7, 1, 8. That's applies to all functions. Chapter 3, and then some of the trig. Chapter 2 might be on the fourth spot. If it's lucky, it's on the fourth spot. Chapter 2. So, yes, study Chapter 2 as much as you can, but if you haven't done anything in Chapter 3 and the exam is in 2 weeks for Chapter 3 and the final is in apparently 3 or 4 weeks, something like that, 4 weeks, make sure you are investing insane amount of time in Chapter 3 And then, here and there do some chapter 2 because exam is in, let's say, 4 or 5 days, 5 days, right? You can take exam on Saturday, whatever. So this is the list of topics. Look at your inbox for the invitation to join the Microsoft Team group. And then that email will let you to become a member of the group. Then it's up to you to join the meeting. I'm going to get online at 4 or 9, whatever, at the scheduled times. I'm going to get online and I'm going to start the meeting. And then those of you that join the meeting will have opportunity to talk to me. This is where I'm going to help you with all of the questions that you have, and that is not streamed. Those are office hours, just like when you walk into my office. Except we're not sitting next to each other, but we can still talk. You are connected with your microphone and a video if you want to, and you can talk to me. You can also type. And I could release to you. No, I can't because I'm using the. It's different, right? So I will take a look at what's going on with that. Make sure that everything is working. I see someone did not receive any email. I am going to make sure that everything is working 100%. My differential equations did not have issues with this. There is no lecture on Wednesday. It will be a review day where I am going to go through random questions, maybe some of the best of from office hours or something like that for Wednesday. So Wednesday could be extremely short, could be, hour and a half long. That depends on your participation, on your questions and so on. Next week is when on Monday and Wednesday, next week is when we finish the last 2 sections of chapter 3, 3.4 and 3.5. And next week is when we end chapter 3, so that the following week we can have review and exam maybe or something scheduled, and so we'll see that. So Wednesday class, yes, Wednesday class is a live stream at 6. So Wednesday at 6 is a live stream, and I will be answering either your chat questions or I will be working on whatever questions I got from office hours from Tuesday or Wednesday. But office hours at 4 p.m. office hours are not streamed. This is where you connect. I can't stream that because some of you are connecting with cameras, some of you are connecting, and you guys are talking and all that kind of stuff. So I will not be streaming that. I will only be streaming the class where you are all silent. Haha, right? So yes, you're typing in chat, that's fine, but I am going to stream I only stream classes. So Wednesday 4 to 6 office hour not streamed, 6 to 7 let's say review where I do problems. I didn't do any problems today, I just gave you the list. I will stream that one. Good. Can you add additional time? I did add additional time. You guys asked and I did. I already added additional time for the test. Because if I add additional time for the test, then I have to add additional problems. And then you end up, by the time we're done, you add time, I add problems, you add time, I add problems. You end up with 200 problems in 7 hours of time. Right? So, all right. So, I will see you all, well, maybe not all. I'll see, I guess, some of you tomorrow. 4 to 6 p.m. office hours, and just look at your inbox look at your inbox for the email to join Microsoft Teams. Bye.